Hey folks, Kilt-Man here, Kilt-Man at your services. How are you all? Hope you're all doing very, very well. Now it's Friday and it's a Freedom Friday. For me, that's always been like a big, massive night out, straight from work with a lengthy dinner time session beforehand, a rehearsal, and then out after work in town, Liverpool, pubs, clubs till dawn the next day, just giving it loads. And that was every sodding week. That was great. COVID then screwed the whole thing up because I've now been working from home for the last 2.5 years. So I don't ever get into Liverpool anymore. And I should do, I really should do. And I massively miss town. So I've become quite a bit of a bore these last couple of years. The Kilt-Man of yore, the Kilt-Man, the legendary Kilt-Man and his antics have really been curtailed big time. So I'm really only ever in one of two, maybe three, possibly four boozers, which are all the local taverns around here. But I'm in them every single day. Do not get me wrong. I'm there a lot. I've been there today, of course. And what I wanted to mention was people that you meet, people that you think you know, people that you think you've got a handle on. Oh, this is not a bad thing, by the way. This is not like, someone turned out to be a complete and utter animal bastard who attacked me. No. This is a good, positive thing. And what it is, I've been in the cask and had a couple of pints in there. Yeah, no whiskey. I was drinking the real ale because the cask is a great place for your real ale. And I've suddenly got back into it. I say suddenly. It's been like a few months I've been drinking the odd pint or two of the real ale stuff, the real stuff, the flavour filled, full bodied pints. And it's been great. And it's also cheaper than drinking whiskey all the time, which is what I normally do, as you know. So I was there and I had a very convivial chat with various people. And against my better judgment, because again, as I say, normally if COVID hadn't intervened, I would have been out all night straight from work anyway, and there'd be no repercussions, there'd be no issues. But things have changed, and now when I'm just round the corner, apparently I'm always like, "Where are you? You coming back home?" You can tell who those messages are coming from. Yes, Ming the Merciless. No, my wife, Mrs. Kilt-Man. Mom, you're cooking the tea tonight. I never got this grief when I was in town, but I do get it now. But hey ho, it's the way the world turns. So I wasn't meant to be out much tonight, and in fact I haven't been, but because I've been out a lot during the week. But so I was in the cask and we were chatting away, various people, and it was great. And I thought, well, I've now got a bit of a taste for it, so I'll just move down to the Telegraph, which is round the corner, and from the cask. So I thought, well, I'll just go in there, and it's a Friday night, and the telly used to be a really great, active, vibrant boozer, but of late it's been a bit crap. But I thought, well, I'll go in there. I'll I'll have another whiskey, and I'll just see how it goes. And so I walked in, and it was busy. It was great. It was wild. There was just people in there. It was just a nice vibe was going on. A few mates were in there, a gang of mates who were sitting somewhere else. And I thought, well, I'm not going to join now. I'll do my own thing for a little bit. And then a couple of mates that I know from elsewhere were in there who I don't normally see in the boozer. And so a bit of a knitter natter there. That was great. And but what I'm coming to is there's a guy that's I've seen so many times an old guy, and he walks around with it. He's got a raincoat on, and he has a backpack on, and he's baldy but with like massive grey sort of wow David Hemming style eyebrows and a big long straggly grey beard, and but he walks. He's got his spine has gone like that, so he's hunched over all the time. And when I'm out with the dog, I always see him, and he's great. He's like that, but he must have like sort of like a Spidey sense or a Batman style sonar going on. He knows who's around, and even though he's hunched over and I'm coming past, and I think he's great. I think he's a wonderful character, and he always goes like, "Hello, mate. Hello, you all right?" And you wonder, how have you seen this? You might see the dog. He's like looking down there, so you might see the dog padding around. But it's just, I always thought, what a great guy. So every time I see him, I always make a point of like trying to stop and chat with him. And because of the backpack, I've always got the impression that even though he's much older and obviously his spine is giving him some kind of jip, he still goes out and travels and spends his day going out and enjoying the environment. And my God, brilliant. I love that. Well, anyway, I was in the pub and I've been talking to my mate Greg, who had not been in there I've not seen him there for a while. So we had a big bit of banter. He was there with his missus, and she was probably thinking like, "Will you, Greg, come back and talk to me? Stop talking to that long-haired lout in the skirt." No, to be fair, there was a fair few of the female persuasion who were trying to give it loads, but I was no. I'm on my doorstep. I'm not doing any. I'm not doing any of this kind of stuff. No. I'm gonna behave myself. And all of a sudden the door opened, and me and Greg is kind of like sort of split apart. He'd gone back to his missus, and I was back at another part of the bar. My mates were all in the far corner. I wasn't really bothering with them, to be perfectly honest. And the door opened behind me, and I don't know what it was. The shuffle, the hunched over shadow which embraced the bar, and I looked, and it was you've guessed it. It was this old guy. He'd come in, and I was like, I've never thought to have seen him in a pub. Why shouldn't he go to a pub? Why shouldn't he? That's my stupidity and my idiocy there. Of course he should come to a pub. He didn't come alone. He came with two guys who came in after him, who were no, I don't know. They may be his sons. They may be his carers. I do not know. I did not get any bad vibe from this, because he saw me, sort of like that hunched over. Like, oh, well, obviously you can tell from, me boots and the bare legs, and what he can see is probably the tattered sort of thigh part of me kilt, the little tartan threads hanging loose, and I go, oh, that'll be the Kilt-Man then. And he just said, "Hello, mate, how are you?" And his head just hooked up like that, and do you know what? It's one of those where why should that be massively impactful and moving? He's just a guy coming to a pub, and why shouldn't he? But because I've seen him with his crook back and all that, and I've always felt sorry for him, and I always wondered, he just goes out and you make up a bit of a history for somebody, and you don't even know what it is. I always, in my mind, I always thought like, oh, his wife had gone, and now he just goes on his own and he travels here, there, and everywhere, and isn't that great? And but he always lets on to me as well, like, and we spend, just with a few words, just in passing, sort of thing, because my dog doesn't want to stop. She wants to just fucking carry on going, like, and to see him, I was like, wow, you come to the pub? Why shouldn't he come to the pub? Of course he comes to the pub. And he got a pint of Guinness. So, and like, I thought, oh Christ, that should straighten your back out, like, but put a bit of iron in your spine. But he was great, and we had a little bit of a conversation, but I'd had a fair few whiskies and a couple of pints as well. So I was kind of like, blown away by the fact that he was there. And I wish really that I'd really focused on what he was saying. Instead of being blown away by what he was saying and the fact that he was there, that I actually listened to the guy. And there's another thing for you as well, because, sometimes things happen and you just kind of like, you go with the emotion of it and you forget what actually really transpired. And he was telling me stuff and I weren't really taking it in. I was just happy to see him, and it was just a wonderful moment. And like these moments, you all get them. You will all of you will get these moments, and you should never ignore them, never let them go, because everybody has something to offer. Everybody has something special, and he was a lovely guy. He's a lovely guy, and he's very old. He's very, very old, and I don't know how anyone can walk with a spine like that, and yet he clearly does. And to see him in there was genuinely one of those heartwarming moments, which you're like, oh God, this is great. Oh, if I was in town right now, I'd be I would be prancing around, dancing, and I would be festooned with stupid women who just think that a guy that wears a kilt is obviously a god, even though they should look at the face, they should see this and go like, Jesus Christ, you ain't no god, you ain't no messiah. But they do. Anyway, they do. And it's always wonderful. But I would trade all of that shenanigans for the little 3 or 4, maybe 5 minutes conversing with him as his pint of Guinness come over, and the little smile on his face, the little twinkle in his eye. I mean, because even though he's hunched over, he can reach the bar, and like he can turn his head, so I could see his face, and I just think he's a wonderful fella, and a real tonic to have someone like that around. And you've all got that. There's people around in your neighbourhood, in your street, in your village, your town, your city, who you may spot and think, oh, I feel sorry for them. But you feel sorry for them. What's that saying about you? Is it saying more about you than about them? If they're still out and having fun and being happy and still doing all that they can to live their life to the full, how can we go like, oh, I feel sorry for him or her? They're having fun, and this is what proved it to me. I'll probably see him again tomorrow when I'm walking the dog, but it'll be different. It'll be a different scenario. I will now stop properly to speak to him and say, are you going to the pub later? Oh, I might see you later. We'll have a bevy together. I couldn't stay because I was getting pinged on my phone from the Mrs. Kilt-Man. You weren't meant to be out tonight. You're doing videos tonight. You promised. And well, here's one. Here's one right now. But I think it's just great. There's people out there which will, no matter how bad your day has been, no matter how bad you feel your life may be, and the hand that fate has dealt you, and then you see people like this that you think, oh God, well, I'm not as bad as that, at least. And then you discover he's actually having fun. He's going out and having fun, having a drink, and he's a bit of a, see, this thing I'm not saying, that he's a bit of a rogue as well, or has been a bit of a rogue. And you can tell, and he's, what a sensational dude. And it's things like that which really make this thing that we call life, this existence, so many bad things do happen, but so many good things happen as well. And the good things happen on a small level, on a day-to-day passing sort of interplay with somebody else. That will change the focus of your day, the direction of your thoughts. You know, sometimes the person that you meet on the streets or when I'm walking the dog, and I'm a lucky guy. I've got a great family, and I've got, I'm the Kilt-Man, for God's sake, and I drink whiskey and get pissed all the time, and play music and just have a laugh. But no, like, real life does intrude. But you've got to remember as well that the people that you meet, you might be having a bad day, but, this works both ways. You see somebody else, all you've got to do is just let on to them. Smile. You alright? You okay? Just, literally, you haven't got to stop and engage them in conversation. Some people don't want that. But what you'll find is that some people, you might be the only person that's spoken to them that day, or even for the next few days, and they'll remember that. And that's important. That's what makes us all tick. We're a social beast, we're a social animal, and it's just lovely to converse. It's massively lovely to converse in the pub and have a great old laugh. But in passing in the streets, in the park, on the beach, wherever the hell you may be, and someone is coming towards you, let on to them. And if they want to talk to you, you can always tell someone that you always think you know someone who might be lonely, and we're all guilty of it. Oh, you don't want to get involved, but maybe you should. It doesn't take much. They're not asking much. They just to converse with someone can make their day massively better and more beneficial, and give them hope and optimism. And that can work for you. It works both ways. You could have a shit day and someone stops and talks to you. Oh yeah, how you doing? You alright? And suddenly, things aren't as bad. It's only a thought. This is a Freedom Friday thought for the day. That's a really crap slogan, that one. My Freedom Friday slogan used to be just Freedom Friday, oh yes, I went out and we're giving it loads, and Kilt-Man's gonna get fucking pissed and slaughtered and dance and be a complete and utter fucking maniac. And but I think those days may well be on the back burner. But anyway, folks, there you go. I'm gonna open this later on, so I'm not forgotten about it. I have not forgotten about it at all. It's there on the back burner. So anyway, this has been. It's meant to be a short video. It's gone on for 20 minutes. 20 minutes, for God's sake! But if I can give anything to anybody, it's just to be social and to give. Just to give. It doesn't take much. It's not like you're going to the Ukraine. You're ferrying lots of aid and stuff for the displaced, war-torn population in the Ukraine, or wherever else. Because there's other places which tend to get forgotten about. There's other wartime dilemmas taking place around the world, which kind of taking a back seat now. But I'm not trying to denigrate any strife or crisis. They're big, and you can do what you can for them. But there's a big difference that you can make if we all did this every single day to somebody that you see on the street. You okay? How you doing? Are you all right? Hey, weather's nice, isn't it? The sun's out. Or, oh God, weather's terrible. Whatever. It's just to engage someone that might be very, very alone, and to have that little momentary discourse could really change their day and make them feel a lot brighter. And likewise, someone talking to you can make you feel a lot better. So there you go. That's a little bit a Friday tonic, with a do not get me wrong. There's been loads of whiskey gone down my neck and a few pints as well. But the message and the essence of it remains indelible. We all play a part. We're all humans. We're all part of this big game of life and society and civilization. I always laugh when I say that, it's civilization, because it's just, we're human beings, civilization, war, art, culture, war, hate crimes, racialism, genocide, we're great, in many ways, but also we're fucking awful in so many other ways. But at a grassroots level, you and me can make a huge difference to people around. Now, if that magnified, you imagine it, exponential, we're all being nice to each other. Wow. Well, there'd be no news, would there? Can you imagine it? Because and the news programs, what are they? It's always bad. It's bad, bad, bad. And at the end, they throw in a little, and in other news, Mr. Joe Bloggs has climbed Ben Nevis for charity, and he's done it. He's got no legs. He's got no arms. He only used his tongue to climb up there. And that's the bit of good news, the uplifting news. But the rest of it is predominated by violence, evil, and just bad, bad, bad vibes. We can change the world by changing the narrative. I know. I'm going off on one now. But my point remains the same. You can start this groundswell by just being nice to the people around you. Do you know what? It isn't that hard to do. You'll find that most people will respond to it very well, and you can have a laugh and a joke, and you've made a new friend. Wow. How can that be bad? How can that be bad? Well, apparently Mrs. Kilt-Man thinks it is bad because it means I stay in the pub for a bit longer than I promised. But at the end of the day, it's a happier place. Anyway, folks, I'm going to be opening that mystery canvas movie box art very shortly. So please, stick around, and I'm going to see you all laters. I thought this guy was massively crippled, but as hunched over as he is, his head could turn and turn, and I thought there were some girls who were sitting down on the far side, and the way his head was and the way his spine had curved over, I knew why he was grinning. He's got the perfect perfect view. I don't think his spine really is knackered. He knows what he's doing. No, folks. Anyway, please keep it Celtic, keep it Celtic. I'm going to see you all later.